Third speaker, Shawn Skinner, regarding opposition of slaughterhouse/meat processing facility in the industrial park. Let us have your name and address, and you have 5 minutes to address the council, sir.
Thank you. Shawn Skinner, 6701 Jade Avenue. I'd like to thank the City Council for the opportunity to speak to you on behalf of the residents of Port Arthur who reside in the Port Acres community, and myself, the new owner of 6701 Jade. I was first made aware of the proposed slaughterhouse 3 weeks ago and was somewhat alarmed at the prospect of a facility such as this being located in the vicinity. Growing up in Southeast Texas and having had the distinct misfortune of passing by a slaughterhouse just to travel to Beaumont, I'm all too aware of the foul aroma produced by these businesses. I placed a call to Mr. Baptiste and had what I thought at the time a very informative conversation. Being a person with a degree in civil engineering with an emphasis in water and wastewater treatment and management, I was very impressed by what I witnessed in the Danish Crown Slaughterhouse informational video. The technique utilized seemed extremely sanitary and environmentally friendly. I was placated somewhat and was perfectly at ease to find out more information at the next EDC meeting on April 11th. However, 2 days after I spoke with Mr. Baptiste to hear that a special EDC meeting was called for the coming Monday, my sense of ease dissipated immediately. Why the sudden urgency at once to address a matter that 2 days earlier had not been as urgent? Who became alarmed? I had the opportunity to review the information that the City Council had previously received and was somewhat surprised that the slaughter technique described in their information packet was in no way similar to the method shown in the Danish Crown video, with the exception that the animal was killed. This led me to wonder that since misinformation had been let out to the general public concerning this, what else had not been accurately divulged? I addressed some of these concerns in my questions a letter to Ms. Hamilton, who in turn relayed them to Riceland. I received a very nicely worded response to my question that only partially answered them. I first stated that I noticed a difference in the slaughter technique, and by the response received, it was obvious Riceland didn't know what Mr. Baptiste had been telling people, how the animals were to be slaughtered. In the Danish Crown process, the animals were driven into a room and rendered unconscious with carbon dioxide, and while they were knocked out, they are inverted with large needles connected to a pump inserted in the jugular veins, and all the blood is drained out. Seems very humane, very, very sanitary. In the book given by the city, the animal is driven into a squeeze box that is laid on its side and has its throat slit, and the blood is carried away in a trough. So in spite of Riceland saying there wasn't a discrepancy in the slaughter technique, there actually is. According to the information given to the city by Riceland, the closed pens which hold the animals themselves, the area in which the animals are slaughtered, are to be continuously cleaned, and considering that water would also be utilized in the rendering process, I suspected this would utilize a considerable amount of water. So I next asked how much water was to be utilized daily. The response to me was 60,000 gallons will be used to process 80 cattle and 1,000 sheep. These are the numbers for just one shift, according to Riceland's letter of intent to the City Council. So there will be 2 shifts, so the actual numbers will be 120,000 gallons of water used in the process. In addition to the 120,000 gallons of water to be used, there will also be 3,363 gallons of blood. I next asked how much wastewater would be generated, and the response was 50,000 to 55,000 gallons. By assuming the same partial information being given, these numbers are for one shift, and the actual numbers are 100,000 to 110,000 per day. Now, this is wastewater generated. As you see, there is an 8.3 to 16.7% difference in these numbers. Other than the evaporation during the blood drying process, where does the other 10,000 to 20,000 gallons of wastewater generated daily go? I received a satisfactory answer to my question concerning the capacity of the wastewater treatment plant and odor control during the wastewater pretreatment process before being released into the city's treatment plant. Another question that had arisen through further study and the information given this city, in step 1 it states that the animal be kept in closed pens. Closed pens are not enclosed pens as promised. The stench from these animals and their waste will permeate the air, and if they are going to be washing these animals and the pens down, the smell during the summer months will be overwhelming. If the pens are actually enclosed, will they be climate controlled? How will the air be circulated? Forced air would just blast the smell into the neighborhood. In step 2, it states the animals will be washed in designated areas. Is this area also going to be a climate control facility?
And we do this because tonight we have
totally
a.
understand.
I'm sorry, but we have a long meeting
That's
tonight,
fine.
so I appreciate you being here. Thank you.